Actually, I'm making a presentation as part of Project 6, Local Variety, which has as its objectives use voice volume, pitch, rate, and quality to reflect and add meaning and interest to your message, use pauses to enhance your message, use vocal variety smoothly and naturally. And the title of my presentation is, Why Does Ken Speak French? C'est vrai, je parle français. It's true, I speak French. Have you ever wanted to learn another language? Perhaps you wanted to learn French? Growing up in the Bronx, as I did, if you were there, you would learn, as I did, the language of the streets. It's English, Spanish, and some Italian. French was the last language in the world you would be interested in learning. So if you grew up with me and you found out that I speak French, you would ask, why does Ken speak French? And that's the story I'm going to tell you now. Growing up in the Bronx did not give me a desire to learn French, but it did give me a desire to discover the world, discover the exotic things that were out there. I took that to the extreme. Have you ever taken your desire to the extreme? Really the extreme? Well, I did. Because once upon a time, I married an exotic woman. Kim Swan was from Vietnam, where she grew up speaking Vietnamese, was educated in the French school system to learn French. And when I met her in New York City, we were speaking English. At the same time, teaching at the UN International School. I thought, this is exotic. And yes, indeed, it was an exotic, exciting experience. We spoke English together, and I lived in the world of French culture, Asian style, and the UN atmosphere. Everything language-wise was fine until my son was born. And it wasn't a surprise, but he did change things. And when he was born, Kim Swan informed me, have you ever been in a relationship where you've been informed? I was informed that she was going to speak only French to him. And I would speak English to her, speak English to him. I said, this sounds great, because he'll grow up bilingual. She said, yes, that's the idea. He'll grow up bilingual. And I said to Kim Swan, that's great, except I don't speak French. I'm going to be left out of all those secret conversations you're going to have together. She said to me, not a problem, Ken, I'll teach you French. So I started in French at the same time my newborn son did. I had an advantage. I could actually speak. He had an advantage. He had an empty brain, but he filled with French and English and everything else. So I began my study of French. I went to the Alliance Française. I took private lessons with Kim Swan. At the same time, she would speak to him in French. And he began to speak. He answered in English. Well, this is not bad. At least I know half of what's going on there. So I continued my studies of French. She spoke to him in French. He answered in English. I spoke to her in English. She spoke English. Oh, it was very exotic. Then one summer, when she and Stefan were in France, she called me and she said, he's speaking French, finally. He's answering in French. There must have been something about the trip to France that triggered that little switch in his head. And I thought to myself, Ken, finally, you spent 5 years learning French, you could understand what they're going to talk about. He speaks French in return. So on the day they came back from France, made sure there was a nice dinner waiting, came from the airport, set the table, they arrived, sat down, conversations got more sophisticated. I was able to participate. Eventually, Steph grew up and moved away. I still speak with him in English. Kim Swan, who was so exotic when I first met her, eventually became my ex-wife. Things that were so exotic became cultural differences. But still, I was left with French. Ça c'est la raison que je parle français. And that's the reason I speak French. Thank you very much.